Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and in this episode we're going to talk about Fortnite and how much freaking money this game is making. Smash JT. Fortnite's popularity keeps growing on a monthly basis, bigger than it's ever been before. Every day that goes by, it gets crazier and crazier. This is something that hasn't been seen in the video game industry for an extremely long period of time. And what I'm talking about is how much money it's actually raking in. This last month alone, it took in $318 million in revenue for May. The game doesn't cost any money. It's a free game, and the company that makes it, Epic Games, just made $318 million in 1 month. And that's up 7% from the previous month of April, where they made $296 million. This game is a bulldozer in the video game industry, for better or worse, depending on if you enjoy it or not. But you really can't argue with the way Fortnite is set up, where it's free to play and anything you spend in the game is cosmetic. Nothing affects the gameplay, and the developers of the game have made that abundantly clear to everybody who intends on purchasing anything in-game. For those of you who are not familiar with how Fortnite works with the in-game currency, they use a thing called V-Bucks. And with the V-Bucks, players can purchase different axes, dance moves, and gliders, which can then be used in-game. 1,000 of these virtual V-Bucks can be purchased for $9.99, with different bundles available up to $99.99 for 13,500 V-Bucks. And like I said, buying these items in Fortnite doesn't give you any advantages. You don't get better weapons, you just different weapons. You don't access new maps, you don't get abilities to start in-game in different locations. It's all purely cosmetic. And this is something the video game industry has never seen before, where people are handing money over hand over fist to get their hands on these V-Bucks to stand out from the crowd and get these dance moves or buy these different axes or different color designs that they'd be wearing. This is all that they're doing with the money. And the crazy thing is, between a study of 1,000 Fortnite players by LendEDU, nearly 69% of the players spend money on in-game purchases, with the amount spent averaging $84.67. So if you expand that out to the broader audience of Fortnite players, just think of the millions of people who are playing this game. For every 1,000 players, the game is making about $85. That's an insane amount of money when you get down to it. And to go even one further, the even crazier stat with Fortnite is 37% of the people buying in-game apps say it's the first time that they've ever done such a thing with a video game. So you could almost say that Fortnite is the gateway drug to in-game purchases. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for the industry, but it's definitely something to consider going forward with how people's mentalities are changing with these in-app and in-game purchases, and how people are more willing to spend money on microtransactions even if it doesn't change the gameplay. If it's just purely cosmetic without any differences whatsoever, people are still willing to spend the money if they're getting the enjoyment out of the game. But that's not all for Fortnite news. There's a lot of other things going on today. Another thing that happened is the PUBG creator also dropped the lawsuit that they had going against Fortnite. So I guess you could say everything's coming up roses for Fortnite. It's insane how that lawsuit even got started in the first place. I actually made a video on it talking about how ridiculous it was, talking about frying pans and how they were copying items from the game to it. And thankfully that ridiculous lawsuit got dropped. But another thing happened on top of that. Sony also spoke out saying that they're willing to work on Fortnite crossplay. Well, maybe not specifically willing to work on it, but at least since the beginning of the controversy where people found out there's no crossplay between the Sony network and the other game systems, Sony has finally broken their silence and said something tangible. You might recall Sony's initial response when gamers started complaining about how there was no crossplay between the Sony PlayStation Network and Xbox Live and the Nintendo Switch network, and how players are saying they're buying things on the Sony network but then can't transfer them over to these other systems even though the other systems allow you to do that with each other. Well, Sony said originally, we're always open to hearing what the PlayStation community is interested in to enhance their gaming experience. Fortnite is already a huge hit with PS4 fans, offering a true free-to-play experience so gamers can jump in and play online. With 79 million PS4s sold around the world and more than 80 million monthly active users on the PlayStation Network, we've built a huge community of gamers who can play together on Fortnite and all online titles. We also offer Fortnite crossplay support with PC, Mac, iOS, and Android devices, expanding the opportunity for Fortnite fans on PS4 to play with even more gamers on other platforms. Basically, that's summed up as saying, look, you're gonna play on the PlayStation Network and these other places that we allow you to, but we're not gonna change anything as far as crossplay with the Nintendo Switch or Xbox Live. However, that has changed a little bit, and at least Sony is starting to talk about this. And Sony said in a recent press, we're hearing it, we're looking at a lot of the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community, while at the same time supporting our business. And that's the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment America, Sean Layden, in an interview with Eurogamer. This comes after that Nintendo Switch and Xbox Live did that marketing campaign where it says play, survive together. Kind of taking a jab at Sony. It was kind of funny to see these two companies team up against Sony, saying, hey, we're crossplay with each other, why aren't you? And just get a little razz between all these three companies going. It's interesting to see the dichotomy of the situation evolve into something we would have never predicted back in the day when these companies were at each other's throats. Now we see them working together to razz other companies. I just find that extremely interesting, and a part of me finds it very funny. Now, it's not clear why Sony is blocking the crossplay currently between Nintendo Switch, Xbox Live, and working with the PlayStation Network. But rumors are swirling, and it's a pretty safe bet that the reason why Sony is not allowing crossplay is because one former Sony developer claims the company didn't used to like the idea of gamers purchasing an item on one platform and then using it on the PS4. It's not clear if that policy persists today, but Sony is offering up a little bit of hope that that might change. So it's something for people who are looking forward to crossplay, that it might be coming down the pipe pretty soon, but we'll keep our ears tuned to that one. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today as far as the Fortnite news is concerned. There's a lot of stuff going on with this game, mostly positive, but I do wonder about the long-term effects on the video game industry with the major success of one singular title blazing a path and destroying everything in its way, if it might not be entirely good news for everybody else, and if that's a good thing for the industry as a whole. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that one. Let me know down in the comments, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.